Yo, what's going on, everybody? Xanthos Vice here, and we are back with some more Punishing Gray Raven. Yeah, you know what time it is. Time for me to hop on right back to PGR. Finally back after just focusing on Daybreak for a while. Well, I guess not really a while, just a couple streams, but still, you know. Anyway, where we last left off, we had finally finished chapter 31, the latest chapter. Well, previously the latest chapter. I gotta say, fuck me, man. They had our emotions in a stranglehold. Like, the fact that, sure, we did survive, we finally got past a bad end. But again, this one is like, the way it was, like, formulated and what Vonnegut's true identity is and how it plays into what he's doing. Because again, it's like, he's not supposed to really have any attachments to this timeline, because he has the mindset of the Nemo from the future in an alternate reality. So he wouldn't really have the emotional attachment to be like, yeah, humanity should survive. It's just him focusing on like getting rid of the greater threat that no one else knows. And it makes sense for that self-accomplishment to be more significant to him than to the lives of the people, the rest of the world. Because, again, he's not being a hero for people he knows. He's being a hero for people he doesn't even know. And it really is kind of hard for anyone to be able to say solidly that they can and will do it. Because yes, we do have those kinds of heroes in the fictional works, but again, it's like, that's still fiction at times. I'm not saying it's impossible to do it for humans, but it's really hard for anyone to actually go out there and to prove that they can do it, because it takes a lot of effort. You're sacrificing a lot of your time, your efforts, your own life, for potentially others who might not even thank you for what you do. Again, you don't always have to do it just to get someone to say thanks, but it's just showing that it's like, it's truly hard to really define what can be described as a hero, because it's never that simple. But even with us going back or escaping, we ended up 30 years in the future. And I'm like, what? But it did make sense. It was just so crazy with the fact that it was like that long, considering when Lee went into the Infraheteor Tower, not that much time had passed. But I guess the situation is different because even though he was kind of invited in a different way, he didn't really have as much interaction with like the core or like any other powers that be interfering with what was going on with the Infraheteor Tower, whereas Kratos had major influence with it. And we actually had to say goodbye to Lucia, man. I can't believe it! Even when we escape, we can't have Lucia along with us, because of all the damage she had gone through and all the grueling battles and efforts that she had taken just to finally get the commandant outside of that hellhole, that hellscape. The Vonnegut fight was really cool though. And yeah, we did do the boss raid last stream, which I honestly did have a lot of fun with. I honestly didn't think I'd have as much fun as I did, but hey, it was pretty cool. But anyway, we have the new chapter coming out with Nanami taking center stage. I'm glad to see that she is back, but again, I am curious how it's going to line up with it. But I do know it is actually going to somewhat connect with what happened last chapter, because I did see the trailer on the PGR YouTube channel. So I'm really excited to see how she's going to have a major impact. Is she going to directly interact with the Commandant after so long? Are we going to get to learn what she's been doing this whole time? Or is she just only going to help us from like afar? I'm curious to how this is going to play out. We're not going to do like the long ass stream that I usually tend to do, just because well, it's like 8 o'clock already, so it's going to be like probably just a 2-hour-ish stream, give or take, just letting y'all know in advance. But yeah, also the fact that it's like everyone from Earth is gone, or at least the people that we know, because Liv and Lee set out to find a different planet for humanity along with the rest of Babylonia. Asimov's dead. Kamui and Kamu are dead. It's like, damn, we just can't get anything. So the only people we have left are Vanessa, Emma, Rosa, and surprisingly Luna actually helping us out. I'm interested as to why she actually did. I can't tell if it's like because of that strong of a connection that we made over the course of chapter 30, or maybe she had something more in plan, or maybe it's like something she learned for the Ascension Network. River Blossoms. But still, it really was a sad party and an emotional parting with Lucia after everything. And even her confession as well. It's like, no, they just gotta do that to me now. Like, He finally realized it, or finally has the courage to say it after all this time. Stars start to twinkle in the mysterious universe as if they were breathing. The stardust-filled universe parts like a lifting curtain, revealing a gray-haired girl sitting in a corner of a small world. She manipulates the virtual screen in her hands, her brows furrowed as she rapidly adjusts the complex coordinates displayed before her. That's not right. These coordinates don't seem right. You gotta try a different set. Scenery on the stellar shard fluctuates between ethereal and solid as it slowly morphs with each coordinate adjustment she makes. No. The Rare Girl's voice shifts from hopeful to dejected as she stares in confusion at the space she's traversed countless times before. Sparse starlight fails to fill the vast universe as she floats at its center, reaches out to touch the shattered vortexes before her. Vortexes give off a dazzling radiance as space-time stretches and expands, brilliant rivers of light streaming past her in a breathtaking display. She sees the scenes from her past. Age light cascades upon her friend's shoulders. She sees their first encounter in the desert. Sees unfamiliar darkness. She also sees hope drifting through the endless cosmos. No, it's not here either. She fills with a virtual screen, her drooping in defeat. How could this be, though? Is there a hiccup with the new frame's navigation system? Why am I having trouble finding the coordinates that would take me back home? And the simulation process should be working just fine. Instead, she finds herself lost in this vast universe. Why is this happening? The anchor points should be fixed in place, but where are they now? Sparse starlight fails to fill the vast universe as she stares into the boundless expansion of space in bewilderment. I can't let me find a path back. Stellar vortexes spin as time and space interweave into intricate and elusive patterns, like rivers that surge endlessly into the beyond. Her reaches out again, trying to fish out the right thread in the rivers. She sees fragments of laughter. Sheen oil trickles down like tears of blood. She sees the mournful cries of her comrades. She sees a tide she's never experienced before. She also sees shining moon and flames reflect each other's light under the night sky. Calling this timeline, she now sees a certain human once again. Simulation module into cooldown. The screen dissipates into the universe, having exhausted itself. The girl, however, perks up with renewed vigor. The simulation ends once more. For in her mind, she can see the human commander every bit as clearly as if they're right next to each other. Well, still no luck with the coordinates. I should never saw that coming. I know what commander's doing now. Is the commander going to come for me upon a cloud of stars like the people do in fairy tales? Actually, Commander already has a bunch of things to deal with. Nami should keep trying to figure out a way to get back to the Commander. Suddenly energized, the gray-haired girl clenches her fist and vanishes into the cosmos once more, bringing her determination. Stars start to twinkle in the mysterious universe, as if they were breathing. Oh, there's 25 parts only in this. Okay. Wait, how many parts was in the... Or actually, I shouldn't even... 30, right. Liddy just says it there. Future yet to be. Outside the window lies a gray sky. Snow falls in absolute silence, shrouding the world outside in a haze-like veil. Turn away from the window. Dim daylight casting faint shadows on the wall. This place seems forgotten by the world. Even the light itself has failed in thick layers of dust. Oh right, also we learned that out of all the groups that we've been in contact with since the beginning of the game, the last bastion of humanity is the ARU. And I'm like, what? Everyone else is gone? Actilec, the Forsaken, Cao Long? Makes me think what exactly happened and all that time we disappeared. I'm gonna let myself in now. I assume you're awake already. The door creaks open. A familiar construct appears before you against the light. Yeah, also the fact that it's like Vanessa's actually here. She stayed and she's a construct? Another crazy thing that we learned. Blinded by her moisture, your vocal cord feels parched. Every man trying to speak but not able to make a sound. Great bandages wrap around your body. Your embrace, making movement impossible. If maintaining a sitting position is drained away with little energy you still have left. Vanessa surveys the bare room, finding practically empty, save for a glass of water on the bedside table, likely left by whoever escorted you back. The water's gone lukewarm, but it is better than nothing at this point. Have some water. I'm here to inform you about the arrangements for Lucia's frame. Yeah, because that was the thing, is like, the problem is like, the core and the Omega weapon within her frame wasn't in the best of condition anymore, so we had to at least try to find her old plume frame, but we never ended up finding it in time. But again, it's like, is it even here now? Because we checked all the places that it was said to be, but we never found it. Your heart gripped by an invisible force that suppressed memories tear their way forcefully through your mind. Gun smoke, ammunition, some mist spreading across your field of vision. Something you cannot be more familiar with draws near only to drift away again. I don't want it all to end here. Lucia. Pursuing every last bit of strength, you finally managed to get her name off your tongue once more. Don't waste your energy. Your body's exhausted and severely dehydrated. You need time to recover. We placed Lucia's frame in a sleeping pod at the settlement. Emma and Rosa made multiple attempts to fix the Omega core in her frame, and haven't had any luck so far. I believe we're both used to this by now. I didn't think I needed to say this, but my condolences. And she's about to continue. The rotting wood door creaks again. Come in. Vanessa, the mutated red tide has appeared at the settlement's perimeter. As a squad tracked and we don't have enough personnel to spare. Let's go. Your words are exchanged. Seem quite used to such emergencies by now. Stay here. I'll be back. So you come back to your senses with what little sense you still have. But your body remains immersed in overwhelming sorrow. Try as you may, you can barely move a finger. Look out the window. Beyond the window lies a gray sky. This heavy snow blankets the entire world. Vanessa and Emma rush to the location of the distress signal. The battle rages on until, with their support, the mutated red tide finally retreats. The surviving squad members have to keep one another standing as they deal with the aftermath. Vanessa has become a construct for quite some time now, so there's no love for combat. Disgusting. The mutated red tide is difficult to handle, true. I never thought you'd slip up like that. You seem preoccupied. Is it because of the Grey Raven Commandant? The Grey Raven Commandant? I already have more than I can handle on my plate now. Had the scouts reported back yet? Did the border patrol make it back alive? Are the nearby supplies depots still operational? Do we have enough medical supplies for the wounded? So pops himself up and lets us sleep. The head of our tower, the punishing virus, the continuously mutating red tide. And now here we are, all of us crammed in this damn pinprick of space near the ARU. Instead of feeling sorry for our bedridden great chief, I say let's say some sympathy for ourselves. How's the commander doing, though? So I am also amazed that Vanessa actually did decide to stay, because she was always in the mindset that only those who can actually survive should be able to live for another day. And also kind of the mindset of survival of the fittest, but not even that extreme, but still. So I'm honestly surprised that she didn't decide to leave Earth, but she actually stayed and is a defender as well. Like, don't get me wrong, if she had to choose between dying or turning to a construct, I could definitely see her turning into a construct. I just didn't think she would actually be here and continue to fight for humanity. Let's not set anyone to disturb our patient for the time being. I mean, with Lucia gone and all. Even if we want to know what the Grey Ravens went through, let's at least wait until their commander is recovered enough to speak. Right, I'll pass the word along. Santos, you never change, do you? Refugee comes running from nearby. Speak. The supply warehouse behind the settlement. There are Hedo creatures there. What good is a patrol if they can't even do their job? Oh no, that warehouse has our last batch of medical supplies. Missing a beat, they rush back toward the settlement. Snowfall grows heavier by the minute. They barely reach the outskirts when they see the settlement in chaos. Casualties being rushed to the medical tents. Vanessa. Cut to the chase. I'm tired of hearing my name called today. Did the Hedo creatures completely destroy the warehouse? Damn it. I knew we should have left someone behind at the settlement. Emma, implement emergency protocols and list the damaged supplies. When you're done. The warehouse is undamaged. Then what's all the fuss about? Has Discord returned early? It's the commander from that small room in the corner who came out and led the off-duty patrol team to lure away the Hedo creatures. I can't believe what an elite commandant from the old Babylonia is capable of. I can imagine how powerful Babylonia must have been at its peak. The airborne human gazes up to the sky, his eyes beam with admiration. The commander came out? Can't say I'm surprised. Behind the refugee, she doesn't see the Grey Raven commander. Where is that commander? I thought the commander was just over there. And it passed out again. Vanessa? Yeah, I was like, is it really me though? Maybe it actually is someone else. Didn't I tell you to stay here? The one door slams against the wall, having been pushed a little harder than originally intended. Where did the commander go? You mean the one you brought back? That person was absolutely incredible. I asked you a question. I think the commander headed toward the center of the settlement, by the Great Tombstone. I guess trying to come to terms with what's happened, right? At the heart of the settlement stands a towering stone monument. At first, it was merely a relic from the Golden Age city, however by time, yet standing tall at the center of this land. The settlement was established as a permanent refuge. Someone unknown became the first to carve the names of the fallen into the stone. Anthony, Constance, Silka, Sika, Daniel, Ross, Ellie, Bombanata, Youngji, Anji. Humans used to tread carefully around the subject of death, as if avoiding it could somehow ward off the farewells brought by disasters. But now that farewells have become commonplace, such taboos mean nothing. The monument is simply known as the Great Tombstone, a landmark at the center of the settlement. Vanessa's breath creates a wisp of vapor in the air. Through her calibration of her visual module, she spots the unmistakable figure before the Great Tombstone, draped in the same blanket of snow. Trying to play tough, huh? You're putting yourself in danger when you aren't fully recovered. Is that what they taught you in FOS? Santos. Hey! Sensing something amiss, Vanessa scurries up and grabs you by your shoulders, as you turn you around. Words of reproach die on her throat as she meets your vacant, lifeless eyes. You... Heavy snow continues to fall. What the head of a creature led away by the patrol, you gaze upon the tombstone amid the swirling snow, so you're trapped in an uncertain future. Your fingers trace over the names, some of which you know, others you don't. Each line of the dark engraving is a scar of time that's left behind, ever branded into the gray stone. Top to bottom, countless memories are densely etched onto the memorial stone that towers beyond sight. They're all gone. Your brain becomes rapid and uncontrollable as exhaustion, like a strand of fragile yet sharp spider silk, slowly pierces your heart, draining what little life you have left. Say, play tough. Feeling a firm grip on your shoulder, you slowly turn around. From Vanessa's eyes, you see an exhausted, lumped human face, but as a ghost has escaped its grave. You, Commandant? How in the world? What happened? Are you alright? What's going on? I'll contact the Star of Life right away. Pull yourself together. Then you snap back to your senses. Wake up! Get back to your room right now. Emma will be back any moment, and you're in critical condition. Her eyes are brown as she checks the infection reading on the protective suit you're wearing. I should have locked that door. Hello? Santos? Surprised to find you unresponsive no matter how she calls your name. Her pupils are dilated, unfocused, seemingly deaf to her voice. Damn it. Goes wide with tension. Vanessa grinds her teeth as she fights back the urge to explode. What are you trying to do? Freeze yourself to death out here? Is this why Lucia brought you back? To bury yourself beneath this gravestone? Seeming triggered by some keyword, you break into a coughing fit, showing signs of regaining consciousness. Well... Lucia's gone. Do you want to join her in a sleeping pod too? Memories assault your mind, and your heart pounds so hard that it threatens to crush your ribs and chest. Fragments of vivid colors crash across your retina as Lucia moves her lips in your memory, seemingly trying to tell you something. Even so, that also brings the promise of fresh hope. I'm so glad I got the chance to meet you. The wind now bites as cold as it did that day. So Lucia now lies in a sleeping pod. Seeing your eyes lose focus once again, Vanessa clutches her fist tightly. Stabs her fist at the grave stone behind you. Attacks out of vital fluid, piercing the frigid air. Legs give out and you slide down against the gravestone to the ground, slamming your head into the monument. Pain dispels all hallucinations, and all you can see through your vacant eyes is Vanessa's face, one going from burning anger to calm. I'm not gonna hurt you, but I'm not gonna waste any more time on you. The entire settlement depends on me to keep it running. You have no desire to get out of your current state? Emma, what's going on here? The commander just successfully commanded the patrol and saved our supply depot. I'm here to evaluate the commander's performance and distribute the appropriate rewards. Okay, but do as I say. Once everything's done, escort the commander to logistics and let them handle things from there. Right. Despite her doubts, Emma continues to follow Vanessa's orders. As for you, I understand how you feel, but I've been living on Earth for 30 years now. That's it. You can't get back on your feet, just remain seated. Live on, and live as a normal person. Perhaps that's what Lucia... Her lips together and speaks no more, turning to leave. Footsteps fade into the distance. Snow dust on the ground nearly buries you whole as a numbing cold grips your every sense. Excruciating pain cuts through your mind. The most familiar signal will never reach your mind beacon again. Well, like a drowning person grasping at straws, you force out words through your destroyed throat, even if they come out bloodied and broken. Is this the ending she wanted to see? No, not like this. Your suffering at the Hetero Tower is over. I believe better days will come, and from now on, you'll be safe and sound. I just can't bring myself to part ways with you like this. How could I forgive myself for leaving you here all alone? An inch of empty space remains at the bottom of the tombstone. Memories tangle around your mind like scattered threads. Feel an urge to cut stuff into the gravestone. This is the epitaph of Lucian and the Grey Raven. We once existed in this world. We once fought to reclaim Earth. We are Grey Raven. There seems to be a tattered technical glows as you clench your fist. Eyes empty, thinking of all but one obsession. Finish carving what you haven't. No survivors in this catastrophe. This will end, Grey Raven. I just want to sleep. Far too exhausted to move anymore, you slowly slide down against the great tombstone. At some point, the heavy snow stopped. The suddenly sun pierces through the deep hazy clouds, scattering its dying rays as night falls like a curtain, slowly drapes over half the sky. The battle on the Hetero Tower flashes in your mind like a kaleidoscope of memories. Lucy's smile being the last thing you remember. I'll never regret paying this price. A future without you is meaningless, and a future that doesn't align with our vision of peace is even more futile. So please, don't blame yourself once I'm gone. It's not because we made the wrong choice. Commandant, every failure has its meaning. We've obtained the seeds of a miracle, and from here on, we'll surely find a miracle that belongs to this world, and to us. Yo, what's up, Divine? Bro, it's wild, man. This dude's Nah, real fan because didn't finish all of every quarter, bro. It's for extra 50 hours. See, anticlimactic. Are you serious? Here's the main story in the credits roll. What else do you want from me? Wow, really? Damn. Dude, I mean, to be fair, a good number of the corridor stuff didn't really matter or really hold any weight. I mean, some of them, they were. They were actually decent. They were actually kind of entertaining. A lot of it, not so much. That is crazy. But yo, what's up, Divine? How you doing? All of this come to an end. Things haven't grown numb, slipped weakly from the base as the gravestone as blood thinly coats the new marks. Your meandering thoughts come to a stop when you card the final stroke. Trail of blood stretches in the shape of a smile, just like the ones drawn on the back of your hand so many years ago. Someone calls out in the distance, with a voice drifting away from you. Twilight's gloom fills the sky as far as you can see. This time when you wake up, you'll truly be alone. Lucia. I made you a promise. I won't blame myself, and I won't give up. So we're just handing over our buffer zones to the hetero creatures now? Yes, it happened so suddenly in our outpost. Alright, none of this would have happened had our human soldiers been able to handle those hetero creatures in combat. The buffer zones were always meant to buy us time. Speaking of which, do we have all our supplies back now? When your chest tightens as Vanessa's voice grows icier by the second. Forget the medium and heavy equipment. What happened to the serum and all the portable supplies? I'm very sorry. Kazuva's barking and swearing profusely. Vanessa takes a deep breath. Adjust the flags on the tactical map. I need to assess our current situation. Want to adjust the pieces? The crew tactical map clearly shows the borders between areas controlled by humans and header creatures, and the situation looks grim. If we want to reclaim the buffer zones, we'll have to suspend the flanking operation from last week. While our standby forces are sufficient for one recovery operation, this will leave us with no reserve forces to handle emergencies. But if we completely abandon the buffer zones, both staging areas or our flanks would be compromised. Call back the recon and patrol units. Logistics needs to be in full force except for the teams in the agricultural zones. But we can barely... Or you could just abandon the buffer zones entirely. Give up the staging areas tomorrow and join me in planning our grand escape the day after that. That's all I've got to say. Now, call Drat, push it through the gap with unlocked door. I watched on YouTube, it's like close to 2 with the bonus scene. I'd be playing a 100-hour game for 5 minutes of story content. It's insane. Not true, because it's like, if we're already in the moment, sure, but it's like, if it's not really gonna change anything, there's no real reason to have to go that far to dig up something, you know? Unless it's like you're just going through the whole game for nostalgia reasons. And again, it's like, so what, man? Not everyone does all the stuff in every game. Well, guess all the bad things just have to happen at the same time, huh? Add it to the list. We're getting the lock fixed tomorrow. She furrows her brow, grabs the handle, a cold hand and a tactical glove grips the door frame for the outside. Civilians are forbidden from this area, let alone privy to military intel. Do you want to die? Put the recon and patrol units under my command. I'll break through those header creatures with them. If they just took our buffer zones, they're compromised. You know what I can do, Vanessa. Also, I just remembered a few things. You slowly come back to your senses, memories about the header tower and its core flood your mind. Come on in. Once everyone's seated, you organize your thoughts and bring Vanessa up to speed. Keep your points as concise as possible. The header tower. A time machine. If I didn't know you better, I'd think you were some sci-fi writer trying to mess with me. Yeah, fair. That's what we learned in the header tower. But in the core, did the core really bring humanity new hope? Can it really help humanity win this hopeless war? Rosa isn't at the settlement. It's too dangerous here. She might be a construct, but she isn't exactly good at combat, so we set up her lab somewhere further away. These questions remain unanswered until Rosa returns. I do want to get to the bottom of what's happening at the tower, but for now, we'll have to put it on hold. Even if you can lead a team to break through the hetero creatures in the buffer zones and throw them into disarray, it still wouldn't be enough. Small wins won't last us long. Let's lure them away. We'll split them up, lead them to the ever-fortified camps, pick them off one by one. I need a map with all troop deployments. I thought you wouldn't notice. Guess you really are coming back to your senses. This is indeed a crucial checkpoint, but it doesn't need defenses. Can't have them either. Someone's already guarding it. You mean a squad or some other faction? Luna is there. Luna? She barely communicates with the camp, refuses to cooperate with our strategies, and rejects our supplies. What about other ascendants? We haven't detected any ascendants. We've been monitoring the area for a while now, and Luna's the only one there. Yeah, actually, what would the ascendants even do now? What have they even been doing? Because Vonnegut's no longer around, because he's always been in the tower, and he's still there. Same could be said of Chaos, so what did they even do? Did they just split up? Are they just living life as is, without humanity around? Well, again, I guess that is kind of the point, right? Because now they don't really have to deal with the humans that they detested for so long. But true, it's like, where would the others be? What about Roland? What about Lamia? What about Alpha? So it's like, why would Luna fight it all alone? Also, especially Alpha. I thought for sure she would have had her back or something.
She hasn't shown any signs of hostility. It doesn't seem interested in driving humans away from this place. Seems like she just wants to keep watch there.
Was an agent who can connect to the ascent. Maybe we should talk to her. Something's up with the patrol team.
What is it now? Take your time. Don't rush.
The patrol team was returning from the northwest when the mutated red tide suddenly surged. We didn't detect it coming and it's got them trapped.
Looks like we need to pay them a visit now. But Santos is doing just fine. The commander can proceed with the mission. Let's move out then. Time to see which poor souls got themselves trapped in the red tide this time.
Signature sneer crosses her face. She sits indifferently in this corner of the snowfield as howling winds whip around her. The mutated red tide intertwines with snowflakes, creating twisted patterns like corroded marble.
It's coming again.
Luna senses the agitation of the punishing virus in the air. It's her wary sign of disgust.
Same old, huh? Phantom of the Red Tide. What form has you taken this time? How do you tell I'm the Phantom when you can't even see? Still refusing to give up. You know well that you'll see the truth of this world if you step into the Red Tide.
The Ascension Network trying to mess with her again? Not surprising. It doesn't want her to become the ultimate agent.
But, oh yeah, another game you should try is Planet Defense Academy.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. It's like that other one by the people who've done like a Danganronpa and the Master Detective Archives and stuff, right? I do actually know about that game, but I only know a bit about it. I mean, I could try to find time, but again, it's like I still have currently other games to focus on right now. And again, it's like I'd have to see when I can actually play it. But again, not a bad option though, because I've always just watched people play those kinds of games, like the Danganronpa experience, or games, but I never actually played them before. So I guess it could be something. I'll keep a note of that as well.
Everything the Ascension Network took from you, the Red Tide can return. And I mean more than just your eyes. I don't see what's making you so stubborn. You've already seen the death through the Ascension Network. You've seen the future. You know you'll die here. Your power will eventually run dry. You went to the Red Tide, you good. You're annoying me.
Weakened girl raises his hand and despite her lifeless eyes, accurately shatters the illusion before.
You're wasting your time. Or are you just going to sit around doing nothing? Do you truly believe humans can find a way to deal with everything before your power completely fades? Are you still clinging to such fantasies about Earth? All of this is none of your concern.
Raising hand once more, and the Red Tide's illusion completely dissipates.
Right, because she's trying to be independent of the Ascension Network, similar to Vonica, but just in her own way.
So I guess, yeah, she would be running on fumes, especially since it's been 30 years.
But yeah, that's fair. It's their first take on the RPG, so I'm interested to see how it turns out.
The demo is decently long. Yeah, I think I heard about that too, honestly. But yeah, I can't tell if that's like a good or bad thing. But like I said, I could try it at some point, but again, it's like, I had to think about current stuff, because it's like, Trails in the Sky 3rd, I have to do that during the summer, before Kaino Kaseki comes out. Final Fantasy, I just kind of want to go through Rebirth so then I can finally understand what Remake was trying to set up for, and also because it's still fresh on my mind, at least some of the stuff. But again, I'll have to see. It depends on what my schedule for the summer is going to be, because I still haven't figured it out yet. Because I'm going to try to get a different job during the summer, so I need to see what that schedule is going to be first, and then maybe I can figure out what the streaming schedule will be going forward.
Man, he truly found a solution before power fades away.
Perhaps or perhaps not. If way she'll be too powerless to do anything at that point anyway. She's seen those futures. Snow falls silently, gathering like dust around her. Touches the cold gravel on the ground and gently traces out a humanoid figure. It doesn't know if what she's doing is right. She still tries to trace the shape as accurately as possible, the same way she has many times before. On the wind scattered snow dust on the ground, bringing with them air thick with the punishing virus. On the cliff, the mutated red tide crashed against decaying rocks. Of course, it can be heard from his depth.
Divine, yeah, I feel that. I hope the third game FF7 sticks to landing. So far, it's confusing.
Really? Damn. I mean, to be fair, the first one, it was like, I couldn't believe that a majority of the game was like just a bunch of like extra stuff that doesn't really hold as much weight. Because I think I remember you guys telling me like what basically is a remake is only like the first couple hours of the original game, and I'm like, what? Are you serious? Like, I'm missing out on like so much good content just because it's like they're just like padding it up so much. It's like, why do they have to separate it like that? What's the point? I guess like they're trying to be modern and have like those silly little gimmicks and cliches or whatever, but at the same time it's like, come on. What about what made the game so interesting in the first place?
Yeah, man. The girl is like only 5 hours.
Are you serious? Oh my god. She doesn't like finding the mutated red tide, but she has no choice but to face him. Huh? Wait. Oh, okay. There was just that weird cutscene like, because I was like, why is it in a different language that's not Japanese? Alright, let's see. I'll be honest, I barely use Luna Oblivion as much as I should. Just because like I don't have a fully complete team with her. Where it's like, it sucks because I really want to use her. But it's like, I don't really have a team that's like able to best use her abilities. I'm still trying to figure that out. Oh yeah, actually, now that I think about it, how many times has the red tide evolved since then? Oh my god. Alright, give me a second. What the hell is with this? I'm gonna switch it first. See if it changes anything. If not, then oh well. I also couldn't care. So just to check. Am I supposed to be going this way, or am I supposed to be going the other way? Oh wait, no, I just came from this way. What am I doing? I bet. Oh my god, they are evolving. Wait, what the heck? When did these little pizza cutter looking guys actually have this form? They look way more intimidating than they did before. What's with the elephant? Bro, I thought I only had to deal with an elephant in Daybreak.
But you'll be fine. After all, you're not exactly...
Oh my god. Oh dude, that's just gonna keep going on, isn't it? I mean, I respect it though. The mutated red tide was seen, so it returns to Russia in the mountain peak. Exhaustion plain to see. Lama escorts the rescue patrol back to the settlement. Vanessa stands guard at the foot of the mountain. This is what you see when you reach the peak of the mountain. Luna, how are you? I find it impossible to ask the question, suppose it is. No survivors in this catastrophe.
It's you.
As her head low as the shades of twilight blur the line between day and night. I can't tell if she's smiling. The cold gleam of snow shrines everything here. Her expression impossible to read.
This has to be the best illusion I've me so far.
It's our soft breath. Looks ahead and stares at you with his lifeless eyes and breaks.
Even if you're not real, stay. Just hear me out. It's been so long. So very long.
I bet the Daybreak fanboys were like, oh god, so cool. His bridges could be Vince and Delilah. Not true. It's facts. Fate's onslaught. At first, everyone thought the Grey River Commander and Lucia were sent on unusual but ordinary mission. Oh, okay. So this is what happened to this timeline after we went in the tower. Grey Raven always seemed to work miracles. They always came home winning fights deemed impossible. The Clean Zone even had a victory celebration prepared for them as soon as they had gone inside the tower. Right, yeah, because that's what we also learned that Isla had made a special coding with the help of the WGAA to congratulate both myself and Lucia for a job well done after we get out of tower. Except the Emperor had her tower glowed red again. The banner meant to celebrate Grey Raven's victory was never hung.
This is everything we heard from the refugees. So Lucy and the Grey River Commander never made it out, and the head of her tower turned red again. Yes, I believe so. What should we do now? How's the forest looking, sister? The red tide has become more dangerous now. Roland and I tried to enter the head of her forest to look for Cradle, but she wasn't there. Must be hiding somewhere. She wouldn't do that.
It closed her eyes as the wind brushed past her fingertips, carrying with it an unsettling presence.
The red tide has gone out of control.
Okay, so we're gonna see what exactly she's been dealing with since then. Upon Administrator, the red tide surged across the land like a raging sea, like a horse that had broken free of its rein. Those Hetero creatures have gone mad. They used to be the only one around the Hetero forest that rarely ever appeared in the conservation area, but they stormed the conservation area this time and nearly melted everyone there. They've all gone insane. Calm down. Are you saying all the Hetero creatures have gone haywire? Yeah, they've all gone mad. They broke through the conservation area's defenses by force, crawling in over the corpses of their own kind. Oh, it accelerated their intelligence. Yeah, because only a handful actually did that strategy, but now all of them are doing that? Ah, fuck. Yeah, it has to be Cradle's influence from the Hetero Tower. Send an emergency report. It's already the 4 conservation area reporting Hetero creatures losing control. So what in the world is going on? Hetero creatures frantically devoured the surface as they gathered around the red Hetero Tower, seemingly waiting for something. The tide swept Hetero forest, then struggled to rise from the red tide, choking and coughing. She was trying to get a read of the situation, right? Because she couldn't go back in the tower, this is probably the closest thing she'll have to being able to learn from the Ascension Network.
Luna. Miss Luna. Is it still not working? The red tide is rejecting my power. They resist my control and refuse to obey my commands. Then stop trying. Humanity. Their survival doesn't concern us. I'm afraid things aren't as simple this time.
Last chapter of Chained Soldier was short, but Granny Asuma is definitely playing something for you, man. Yeah, true. I mean, it would be obvious that she would try to, considering like how much just his presence has already affected the rest of the organization. So it was bound to happen eventually. I think this was just like the final nail in the coffin to actually go through with it. On her way to the Hetero Forest, Luna had attempted to use the Ascension Network once more to simulate the future. She saw a snow-covered future.
I've tried many times since then, but I still can't keep control over the red tide. After several attempts, I discovered another consciousness within it.
No, but this isn't the Eternal Winter though, right? That was a different one, but we had already changed from that path. Because we changed the divergence point.
So you're connected to all of these. I figured as much.
The grey girl casts a knowing look your way.
She seems unable to fully control the red tide since she spent most of her time in slumber. I tried talking to her, but she seemed barely conscious. I was only able to repeat fragments of words. But the things she said, I heard her whisper your name. The white-haired girl's moments of consciousness grew shorter and shorter. The red tide spiraled out of control once more, turned against its master as the hetero creatures began evolving in unpredictable ways.
Ah, okay.
And after that...
Right, because that was what we were afraid of, right? That if we didn't do something about Cradle would have eaten away into her consciousness and she would have just been another Cradle. Or not Cradle, but Agent Zero. She repeatedly used the Ascension Network to run simulations, was exhausting all of her power. She yearned for a glimpse of the stars beyond this frame, a variable that the Ascension Network had not foreseen. She saw a snow-covered future.
No, wait, is it? Is it still the Eternal Winter? No! That can't be it! I thought we passed that checkpoint. Or is it just that it's still gonna head there, but just some different extenuating circumstances?
Please don't tell me he's still gonna be the Eternal Winter.
And then...
Roland died. Just as she saw in the countless simulations, he died on the first night when snow began to fall.
What? Roland? Oh, so the red tide is actually turning against the Ascendants now. Well, I guess because they're not following the will of the Ascension Network, nor are they actually following an actual leader like Agent Zero or Cradle, right? So they're just going wild now, and they can continue on endlessly because the tower still exists. He could have escaped. The opportunity to flee was there. But all I want is to protect Luna and ensure her vision comes true. If I can do that, it'll be enough. After all, the world Luna wants to see is the world I want to see. Perhaps this is the perfect moment for the final curtain.
So he met his end on that fateful night. Damn, Roland went out like a fucking G. I mean, to be expected of him, his loyalty toward Luna is admirable, as always.
Lamia was next. Oh wait, so almost all the Ascendants are gone? What happened to Lithos? What happened to, all the others? Tell me they're gone too?
I mean, I know they weren't on our side, but it's seeming like they're just gonna hunt all the Ascendants as well until the Red Tide is the only life form left.
With humanity about to embark on their journey, she insisted on going to gather information.
And her recounts everything with tranquility as if she had replayed the same scene countless times in her mind.
Lamia entered the waters once more to search for news from other regions. She was never to be heard from again. I will be back with good news, Miss Luna.
Timid Mermaid plunged to the abyss but never returned with any news. The Red Tide flowed back to the sea, giving birth to massive mutated creatures in its depths.
Right. Yeah, because we had also learned through a couple other chapters that there were still new hetero creatures forming in the water. Stacey's over. She playing Daybreak too.
Who knows, man? I mean, she had gone through simulations.
I warned her about the dangers of the ocean, and she still chose that path.
The timid mermaid was never meant to be the dove of peace. Luna.
And then it was my sister.
Wait, Alpha too? I never thought Alpha would die. Luna continues our scene narration. Deaf to your words, tone betraying no emotions.
To the punishing virus, Ascendants are merely beings who pass the initial filtering. No one is invincible. Not even the agents. Not me, at least.
She stops momentarily.
Alpha had been trying to break free from the Ascension Network's bonds, and in a way she did succeed. But as a consequence, she could no longer connect to the Ascension Network. Even as an agent, I wasn't able to do anything to help her. I was already having trouble seeing things then. This area isn't safe. I'll go eliminate the nearby hetero creature strongholds.
If I hesitate to worry about leaving Luna alone with her failing eyes. Oh, so that's what they meant. Wow, Luna lost her eyesight?
Are you sure you're gonna be okay? I'll be fine.
I can no longer see, but she can still sense off his presence just fine.
Those hetero creatures have evolved again. They're dangerous. If that's unchecked, we won't be able to set up camp safely here. Wait for me. I'll be right back.
After making sure Luna was safely settled despite her blindness, Luna left the mountaintop. Alpha.
She lied, though. She never came back. The mutated hetero creatures appeared in overwhelming numbers. So much so that Alpha wasn't able to hold them back. But I'll be here waiting for her, no matter how long it takes.
Damn. So in her own way, she was trying to protect her own version of humanity, that little group she had. But in the end, it wasn't enough. I see. Fuck, man. I mean, true, just because you're an Ascendant doesn't mean you're invincible. Doesn't make you a god, necessarily. So I guess I can see that. Shit. I see. So this is the other problem, right? Because the struggles between humanity and Ascendants hadn't been continuing on, and because Babylonia and all of them are gone, no one could really advance humanity to keep up, right? Because that's the thing, it's like, we were able to discover new things, the Omega weapons, the information from Atlantis, the Phantom Tracer, and all that kind of stuff, but ever since Babylonia left, we hadn't had any means to adapt, nor have we had the time, because, again, hetero creatures just keep getting produced, and can also just, like, appear in other zones without our notice. At least not to the extreme degree of that other failed timeline, but still. Luna. I'm sorry I'm so late.
This isn't your fault. I'm not telling you this to blame you.
Sister emotionless like a fragile porcelain doll.
I saw all of this in the simulations before.
The future of swirling snow where the plains are consumed by the red tide. Everyone dies one after another. Only she remains, sitting alone on this cliff. Her tits all head up as a droplet of tears quietly glimmers at the corner of her eye, before it quickly vanishes. The dusk bleeds through across the sky as you and her watch the sunset fade. You wait for the pale moonlight to creep across the earth.
And you? You're no red tide illusion, are you? What have you been through?
Well, memories of your countless battles and endless days of ruminations become an overwhelming amount of words. For a moment, you don't know where to begin.
The last we heard, you and Lucia had entered the tower.
We went through countless battles after that. We managed to escape the tower. Lucia's gone. Words roll across your tongue like a blade's edge. Through your numb mind with pain and stirring up tremors of despair once more.
Divine bro, me and the efforts make us sit is trying his best to realize how annoying.
Nah, it really is. It is pretty funny. Breast crystallize in the ice and fall heavily to the ground. I brought the Hetero Tower's core back. Maybe you could.
But do we really have enough time?
I'm not sure. Only a handful of people could delve deep into this technology even during Babylonia's peak. In the current situation, no one knows how long it would take to unlock the core's mysteries.
I'm as good as powerless now. I can only suppress the punishing virus around a human settlement. The red tide continues to mutate. It's not even done yet. I'm not sure how much longer I can hold on. Xanthos, I'm no hero for humanity. I can't save this planet.
Chris vacant eyes look in your direction, gaze distant still. Only when your fingers nearly brush against her ice-cold cheek does she instinctively pull away.
This was the price I had to pay.
The price for seeing the future?
Yes. The toll the Ascension Network has claimed. There's always a price to see the future.
Right. And again, makes sense because for Lee, Even though he had gone through all of that, he lost his memories. But for Luna, it's different because she's not following a trial, nor is she following the Ascension Network.
Don't pity me. I need no one's sympathy. This is the path I've chosen, and that's that. I was foolish enough to rely on the Ascension Network to predict the future, and try to avoid every path that could lead to their deaths. But none of them was spared in the end. Fate cannot be changed, except for you, Santos.
Vacant pupils seem to look past you, based on some point in the void.
Except for me. I saw many things. The red tide drowning the world, and the corrupted spreading across the surface. I witnessed an eternal winter, and an endless night.
Ah, great. This is the eternal winter future. Great. Right, I guess with how fucked up the planet is, it is just gonna freeze up into a ball of ice.
But I never saw you, Commandant.
You mean...
You never made it out of the tower in every future I simulated.
Right. Because in other times we had died.
You are the singularity of this world.
I see.
The Ascension Network can only simulate based on what I already know. About you and me, about Babylonia, and about my sister. The simulations don't show clear outcomes. They're more like fragments of scenes. What I can tell you is merely my interpretation of those pieces. Besides you, there's another who never appears in any of my visions. That girl with gray hair.
Gray hair? Nanami?
In all the futures I've simulated, I've never seen her nor any trace of the mechanoids associated with her.
Right. Wow. Right. I completely forgot. What would happen with the Church of Machina then? Because they're trying to be their own version of humanity, but I guess they can't really continue on that mission with all the hetero creatures running about. So then what are they doing? I mean, some of them were pretty strong. So I'm curious what they ended up doing in the end, because if they had escaped Earth, I'm pretty sure someone would have noticed. Even with all the chaos going on.
Perhaps she is a variable too. Or maybe all those mechanoids are. I tried to probe deeper, but forcing these simulations came at too great a cost. I might be an agent, but it strained me beyond my limits all the same. The information feedback from the Ascension Network corrupted my visual module. I can no longer see those futures. Santos, this is the last piece of information I can offer you.
Thank you, Luna. This time, she doesn't pull away. The light washes over the mountain peaks. Though it feels like seconds or perhaps minutes, the pale girl steps back slightly to draw herself away from your warm touch.
Now, you should go. Time is running out. I can sense it. The punishing virus is about to breach your protective suit.
And that's right. The indicator in your protective suit is slowly turning red.
I don't know if you'll find the answer that lies at the end of this path, but I'll hold on as long as I can. I'll hold out longer to buy you more time. You are the only variable. Your escape from the tower stands as the sole anomaly in all my calculations. I'll hold out longer until you return.
Trudge away from the cliff's edge. Anya Luna lowers her head slightly, overlooking everything below the mountain with those half the size of hers. Beside her stands a small, faintly glowing lamp. Seemingly trying to acknowledge what you've done, meaning this gesture to her. So she extends her hand out the fire. With touch of the flame, she quickly withdraws her hand behind her back as if singed. I've been sitting here alone for who knows how long. She's replayed the scenes from her simulations countless times in her mind. She's experienced their deaths countless times in her mind. She thought she could no longer be moved by anything.
Best of luck, Commandant Santos. This is our last chance.
The blind girl reaches out once more to touch the warm yellow lamp. Wow. So even Luna ended up powerless against this. That's insane, man. But still, at least she is able to give us something. Because again, true, Nanami hasn't been a part of this world for a while, so what the fuck has she been doing? Is she just waiting until the next point? I mean, seemingly she is lost, but I'm wondering how that came about. The last chance. Okay. And damn, it is true when we think about it, because it's like she is going through the same trials as us, except for us, where there is hope of changing something, and we were able to create that chance for myself and Lucia to escape the tower. They weren't able to escape their fates. Fuck. So that's why I would have been completely if I had at least escaped alone. At least escaping with Lucia has lit at least a bit of a fire left in me.
So that's what you learned.
Yep. The world singularity. Mechanoids. Oh, is now the time when we actually team up with the Church of Machina, right? Because again, now we have an enemy. The Red Tide. Because again, it's not like they're gonna help us save the world necessarily. It'll at least get us back to the point where before all this happened, and we can continue our feud later. Or not continue, but deal with each other later. Fragments of evidence lie scattered like yarn, just by fade into an unbenchable tangle. It's impossible for one to know where to start tangling. Set us out.
Such confidence is admirable, I suppose.
Vanessa does a hush gesture right when you're about to talk. Quickly hide with Vanessa and turn off the lights.
Over there. See that?
Before she finishes talking, you spot the footprints of the glistening snow ahead. Footprints haven't been filled by snow yet. Wherever left them cannot be far. The two of you crouch behind low bushes as Vanessa's eyes scan ahead to see where the trail of footprints leads.
Over there.
Figure slowly moves to the nearby.
Not a construct. Not a corrupted either.
This person appears to be searching for something in the woods, usually scurrying through the forest and stopping. Oh! It's you! Cervantes, right? Damn. So yeah, I guess the Church of Machina is still around. Damn. How the hell did they do it, but the Ascendants didn't? Well, then again, I guess the difference is the Church of Machina was more of an organized group anyway, and the Ascendants have lessened their forces ever since the whole thing with us and Chapter 13 with Fake Ascension. And considering it was just a group of the four of them, I guess it's not too surprising that against an unending army of hetero creatures, that even they would fall to them. Cervantes. The Mechanoid with silver seaweed-like hair looks wary. Ah, maybe he's hoping for us too, because since we are friends with Isla, maybe he's willing to give us a hand. I guess he would be our only other ally left because of the Mechanoids. We're the only ones who have encountered him. Well, in some way, shape, or form. Not directly as much. Rose and Winter. Under the hazy moonlight, the silver-haired Mechanoid enters a nearby abandoned warehouse in a rush.
A Mechanoid.
You know him?
You don't actually think Babylonia knows nothing about those self-proclaimed Church of Machina folks, do you? While there's no official documentation, our squads will run into them every now and then during missions.
Right, because in the end, they were still a part of Constellia for the time being. So even then, there would at least be some way of us, like crossing paths with each other.
Never thought I'd run into one at this hour, though.
Let's gauge the safety on her weapon. The last time you saw Cervantes was at the Aerospace City when he handed you the key. Right. But Vanessa, don't shoot him. Remember, we dealt with this guy before.
Keep up.
Yeah. If he failed to find what he was looking for, Cervantes emerged from the abandoned warehouse where his stern face quickly heads in another direction. What's he doing?
Beats me.
Then why are we following him?
I don't want to deal with some uncontrollable monster out of nowhere that's been corrupted by the Red Tide. Besides, we had an agreement. He shouldn't be here.
Oh, really? They made an agreement? Well, again, I guess because they're forced to have to deal with the Red Tide, they can't really afford to actually duke it out and settle things once and for all.
The direction he's headed toward is close to the edge of our monitored safe zone. That mutated red tide is found here all the time, and no one can guarantee it won't affect the mechanoids.
There. Mutated red tide, twisted with otherworldly colors, serpentines its way into the abandoned warehouse that Cervantes just entered. Out of patience, she draws her weapon. Cervantes flips open the dust-covered felt sheets, finally tearing open the sealed boxes, meticulously searching every corner.
This is the last set of coordinates. If I can't find it here.
Box of marker a familiar logo is stacked at the bottom of the shelf.
Found you.
The mutated red tide moves faster than he can react. The iridescent tentacles lurk in the shadows like ash-colored snakes, hidden in the furnace, hissing and flicking out their tongues.
Shit.
Regarding the mutated red tide, he leans forward, reaching into the area surrounded by the red tide to grab the box.
Who's there?
Against the moonlight and the snow beyond the door stands a figure, familiar yet somehow strange to Cervantes, a smoking pistol.
Xanthos.
With his visual module calibrated, Cervantes still has a hard time believing who he's seeing.
Not bad at all. You still got it after all these years.
Shut up. I'm still a commander, you know.
Didn't you go into the Hetero Tower? Sage's simulations said you're supposed to be. As you can see, the ever-resilient commander has made it out alive again. And you? What brings you back here, Mr. Mechanoid? We signed a non-aggression pact, if I recall correctly.
A non-aggression pact?
Obviously, with limited resources for survival, I have to ensure the safety of the survivors. I can't exactly play nice with toasters that can turn into corrupted at any moment. So answer me this. What are you doing back here? No comment.
Cervantes, where's Nanami?
No comment.
He's just distrustful. Clearly not gonna trust you, especially when Vanessa's standing right next to you.
Is this how mechanoids treat someone who saved your life?
Forget it, Vanessa. Cervantes shows no sign of affection and appears lucid. The box bears a prominent Church of Machina emblem, and he clearly harbors hostility for unknown reasons, so pressing forward now would be unwise. Perhaps thinking of the same prophecy, that's not exactly a prophecy. Vanessa takes a step back as her face darkens.
Why did you help me?
Doing you turn to leave, he speaks. Seems to be no clear answer to his question. Is it because you go way back with him? Because of something else entirely? Because of your reason, everything seems to boil down to one simple truth. There's not much I can do anymore. 30 years have passed, you're no more than just another human now. Having lost Grey Raven, Babylonia, and any support you once had. Gesture for Vanessa to follow you as you exit the warehouse to head back into the snowy outdoors.
What now then? Since you just said there's not much you can do anymore. If you let this one go, it's going to be unimaginably difficult for you to find another mechanoid down the road.
Take it one step at a time.
When the non-aggression pact was signed, most of the remaining mechanoids moved to their designated zone. Perhaps we can still find them there. Hold on.
Several mechanoid stands a short distance away, his pale body almost melting with the snow's gleam on the ground.
Are you really Xanthos?
The one and only. I guess I don't have a reason to fake it.
Why risk pretending to be the commandant when I'd shoot any imposter dead on the spot?
Yeah, you'd have a ball just shooting one of them.
But this is different from Sage's simulations. I couldn't care less who this Sage is. But what will you trust? Some simulations? Or the reality right before your eyes? We have backups of the Grey Raven Commandant's biometric data. Everything was cross-referenced the moment the Commander entered his settlement. There were no traces of growth-accelerating drugs, and all biometric data was a perfect match. Rosa was the one outputting the data, and the folder used for comparison showed no signs of tampering. I have no obligation to tell you any of this, so you better have something worthwhile to say that justifies me standing here in the snow and wasting my breath. Sage left Earth a long time ago. She didn't want to, intending to wait for the Commandant to return before deciding. But a simulation showed that a war with humanity and more catastrophes would have been inevitable, had the Church of Machina continued to stay on Earth. Sage tried everything she could to solve Earth's problems, but nothing worked.
Right. I do remember that. That is true.
The Hedera Tower, the mutated Red Tide. She had no way to deal with any of these threats. In the end, she chose to leave Earth with the Church of Machina.
Oh, so they were all gone. Right, because again, it's like, that was the plan anyway, right? They were always going to leave Earth. If it wasn't about getting rid of the humans. So I guess it makes sense that she would have just taken them all and left. Because even if she couldn't really save humanity, considering how defunct they were, at least she could save them.
What about you? I'm not a combat mechanoid, so I can't start a war on my own. And besides, I don't want to leave this planet. I was born here. I grew up here. And I want to see how it all ends.
Right, just like always.
The Observer. I see. Thanks for the information. Wait, I'm not done talking. Why are you back here? According to the pact we signed, you shouldn't be here. That box you're carrying, what's inside it?
Distinctly shows the briefcase behind him, averting Vanessa's gaze with hesitation. He doesn't doubt the authenticity of the person he's seeing, but he just can't be sure if someone can remain unwavering after all this time. The resources grow scarce, any species, be it human or mechanoid, might turn on their own kind and change. Is this person truly still the same person worthy of Sage's trust? Ah, I see. Like, have we just thrown in the towel, or do we still see the same vision as her, where there should be a hope for both of us? Don't do it, Vanessa. We only want to know if he was a friend or foe. You have to come to understand the situation on Earth since you were back. Everyone's on edge, focus only on their own survival. Given these circumstances, pushing too hard to make a new enemy wouldn't be wise. I just want to make one thing clear, Cervantes. We can overlook your breach of the pact, but in return, expect you to stand by what you said earlier. Don't instigate war or disturb the current balance. Out at the mercy of the mutated Red Tide, humanity lacks the strength to face any additional enemies. Seeing that Cervantes shows no sign of aggression, you just offer Vanessa to leave with you. Barely taking 2 steps when he speaks again.
Let's find somewhere more private to talk, Commandant. What? I was just being a little too cautious. It's been 30 years after all. I'll tell you everything in detail, including why I breached our contract, tendered a human settlement, and what exactly is inside the box.
Ooh. Not far away since an abandoned aerospace city. No one knows where its inhabitants have gone. After relocating near the ARU and discovering this empty city, Rosa made simple modifications to some of the city's defense weaponry, set up her laboratory here. Inside Aerospace City, the silver-haired mechanoid falls into deep thought, seemingly pondering where to begin. For once, Vanessa doesn't rush him, instead leaning casually against the doorframe.
I don't think I've missed anything.
Door creaks. Damn, Rosa had a major glow up. But she seems so exhausted. Or more like she just doesn't seem fazed by anything anymore. Even though she used to be so expressive back then. Just because of what happened with Asimov.
Rosa? We manned the transmission just now, remember?
Rosa?
I'm using the frame Asimov left me before he departed, which is why it might look a bit different now.
This is way beyond a bit different. Despite having just seen her through a transmission on your way, you still have a hard time believing she's still the same little girl she used to be.
There were some issues with the data of our experiments, so I had to come right back after analyzing your biological data. The core you brought back is quite complex. Never mind, we'll discuss that later. Let's see what this mechanoid has to say first. The Grey Raven Commander and Lucia entering the Inverhedera Tower was the future Sage once spoke of. I've already told you why Sage left, and yes, I did stay behind to witness Earth's fate. But at the same time, I am also the tower Sage left behind.
Right, his role.
The tower. It is destruction, but also an opportunity. I don't know exactly what Sage saw in her simulations, but when she left behind a communicator linked to the starship. Things like these are usually not functional when they're mentioned, which means recently I lost contact with both the starship and Sage. Psst.
Oh, is that what she was trying to do? She was trying to see if maybe Cervantes had learned anything new as well while trying to search for me? She got nothing.
A mechanoid made communicator stopped working. That doesn't sound right, wouldn't you say? It had nothing to do with the communicator. Sage attempted to continue her search for humanity's salvation through simulations after leaving Earth, but she vanished into the space-time turbulence. No one knows where she went.
Ah, so it's herself that got lost.
Hey, hello? Cervantes, can you hear me? Just a recording. You're seeing this, it probably means Nanabe's run into teeny tiny problems. But don't worry, I left behind a mysterious treasure in the warehouse in Aerospace City. I don't know if Nanabe's flash of genius was true, if the commander would come back, or if that thing would even be useful. Listen up, Cervantes, remember this. If Commander does come back, you absolutely must give Commander the key to the warehouse I left with you. It's super important, okay? Don't forget to give it to the Grey Raven Commander.
The nice smile remains frozen on the aged screen. It's a frame you've never seen her in before. The smile's exactly the same as you remember it.
Oh yeah, don't show this video to Commander yet. The Commander hasn't seen my new frame. I wanna...
Stops the video quietly.
I didn't have time to edit the video because I was short on time. Planned to add some artistic touches to Sage's new look, but...
So, the box you were looking for at the warehouse is...
It's the key to the warehouse Sage left with me. Yes. She made several spare keys and kept them in different warehouses. The red tide swallowed up all but one of them.
Oh, so that's why he had to breach the contract, because it was the only hope she had left behind. It's like, regardless of whether the commander ever came back, he still at least wanted to fulfill his duty to her.
I know where this warehouse is.
To carefully examine the key, Rosa reaches a conclusion. For Aerospace City. Once the old warehouse opens, the power returns, the lights flicker to life.
There were so many supplies here.
She examines the stack of boxes in the warehouse. Every seal in the box is meticulously labeled, categorizing their contents.
Food. These don't look edible anymore. Winter clothing, basic filters for the punishing virus, serum and cold storage. They should still be usable. And there's this. What's this?
Except that center's a peculiarly shaped chair comes into view. It's a full sensory simulation device.
An invitation.
The nightmare-long buried in your memories resurfaces once again. Because the metallic taste in your mouth, you maintain your composure and look at Cervantes.
Did Nanami say what it was used for? I'm afraid not. The last thing Sage said to do was to give this key to you. Perhaps we need to activate it first to understand what Sage intended it for. Even if we activate it, I'm afraid we don't have enough computing power to keep it running.
Noticing everyone's gaze, Orsa taps her pen against the interface behind the chair.
Before Asimov left, he gave me an encrypted document containing numerous experimental records about you, including the process of receiving certain data through the full sensory simulation device. The document contains very detailed data, such as how much of Gustav's computing power was utilized.
Gustav is gone now.
Yes, for Babylonia.
Ah, great. Right.
Are there no alternatives? It's difficult. With our current resources, we won't be able to build an AI system with even 1/10 of Gustav's computing power, even if we include all the devices in this warehouse. Isn't Cao Long still around?
Shu? They didn't leave for Babylonia?
From what I know, Babylonia once sent representatives to Cao Long to negotiate, but they only arranged for a portion of the population to enter Babylonia.
Right, because that was the whole thing too, right? Because Cao Long, they were proud to be to be citizens of there. And they'd rather go down fighting than to just leave and hurry somewhere else. That was Lady Chu's philosophy. And it did prove true, considering how many people stayed behind for the fight.
Therefore, I'm positive that Huaju is still on Earth.
Alright, because the original one is still here.
Huaju definitely has enough computing power to activate this device. But Cao Long, does it really still exist?
I mean, with the Akasha records, maybe.
What's the Akasha arts?
I don't remember what it was. Don't know for sure what happened in the past 30 years. The red tide overflowing from the Heterozone was already far beyond your control before Lucy and you entered the tower. No one knows for sure if the people in Cao Long are still alive. Oh wait, but doesn't Cervantes still have a contact there? Because he also met Lady Chu, maybe he knows something.
Let's head toward Cao Long and take a look. I'd rather believe Cao Long is tougher than that. Pretty sure they figured out a way to stay safe, given that they chose to stay on Earth. Isn't that a bit risky? Risky?
The doors swing open and bitter wind slices through the room like blades of snow.
Aren't we already taking risks with every breath we take in a world like this? Those of us who are still around are alive because we're the fittest. No.
Stays for a moment before coming up with a plan. Or maybe that's why, right? Because she felt like Babylonia, they were being cowards. They were meant to be fighters, the strongest. And here, at least she's proven that even when Babylonia quits, she won't.
Call Discord back and have her stand by at the settlement. Emma and I will depart with the Grey Raven Commandant. Our frames are relatively new models. And besides, we can also boost our resistance to the punishing virus to some extent with a mind connection. It's been quite a while. You haven't forgotten how to establish mind connection with constructs, have you, Commandant?
Of course not.
Good.
Damn, establishing a mind connection with Vanessa? Never thought I'd hear that day. The quick resupply and arranging to meet Emma at the crossroads, Vanessa performs a final check of your equipment.
The serum count seems off. Don't even think about saving serum for the injured. Combat supplies take priority. Take them with you.
Vanessa fully stuffs the spare serum into the supply pack before taking a step back. Right, I mean, to be fair, I probably will need it, considering we don't know anything about what happened in Cao Long.
There. I never thought I'd end up standing next to you in this role.
True, never thought we'd actually fight side by side as an actual team. I'm sure our teams have helped each other in cases, but it's completely different.
As per tradition, I give your orders, Commandant.
Let's move out, Vanessa, Emma. Damn, they gotta make a future version of her for the game. I'd love to see what they do with Vanessa. Solitary City. Cao Long much earlier. Seems like any other day. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. Never good nor bad. A day like this, where the people of Cao Long remain oblivious, disaster stirs like a snake emerging from the ashes. His forked tongue flickering with a hiss. Actually, now that I think about it, Chu would actually try to protect Huaju with her life, right? Because Huaju would be the only one to actually maintain the information of all the Cao Long citizens that it recorded data of. In the brilliant night sky of Cao Long, a young girl searches lazily.
It's been a while since we last went on patrol together, Madame Pula. Has it? I go on patrol all the time, though. Right. Just that we don't cross paths all that often. Huh?
Throws her brow and hurries toward a malfunctioning mechanism at her side.
A sudden malfunction. Should I report this? Of course.
Practice efficiency, Pula diagnoses the mechanoid's error data and uploads the information into her terminal. 57th malfunction report received. She frowns as she reviews the malfunction reports.
Are you done analyzing, Huaju? Data missing. unable to provide detailed analysis. This makes 57 reports just for tonight. Can you trace the source of these malfunctions? Data missing, unable to provide detailed analysis.
Those are reported me and it gets out the window. They just start illuminating the city. Kellogg's night has only just begun.
Waju, what's the status of the Tabula Akasha?
Right, that's actually what it was called. Toke.
All sectors of the Tabula Akasha are currently operating normally. Surface barrier pressure remains stable. The PV concentration exceeds normal levels by 25.69%, but remain with manageable parameters.
The haze grows intense as if trying to pierce through the ground to see if the Tabula Akasha are buried deep below.
Hurry! Over here! Quick!
Blood and fire intervene. Opposite waves surges forth when least expected. The red tide unstoppable even by the light wall and batters the outskirts of Kalong endlessly. Jishi desperately pulls up a human car on the red tide, but she's too late. The person's already stopped breathing.
3rd District, West Side. I need backup. Survivors located.
Upon hearing the comm, Jishi quickly wipes her face and rushes to the next rescue point.
Are the minds of the fallen soldiers and Kalong residents uploaded? All minds of the fallen soldiers and residents have been uploaded according to the protocols of the Tabula Akasha. An additional 1,025 individuals are currently in the process of mind compilation and uploading.
The casualty numbers have far exceeded what Chu had anticipated.
Ensure the absolute safety of the Tabula Akasha's memory sectors.
Right. Turns around to look at Waju.
Is this the day for the simulation?
Chu stands before the towering wall of crimson data, eyes dark with contemplation.
The source of the malfunction. Could it be those data reports or inconclusive analysis results? Data missing. Analysis of a 135th issue report received thus far indicates that 45.37% of the malfunctions are caused by the punishing virus.
The 135 reports rapidly merge and split across the screen as lines of data are deconstructed and reassembled.
What about the rest? Open the lower compartments beneath the Tabula Akasha's inner circuit and evacuate civilians to these shelters.
The punishing virus is mutated. Only 45.37% of it matches the original signature of the virus, while the rest remains unanalyzable. Suggesting its mutation stems from a realm beyond human comprehension.
Also,
no one wishes to witness such a terrible outcome. Chu was already aware of the scenario a few days ago through Kwaju's simulation.
prepare to receive all Kalong civilians into the data layers of the Tabula Akasha.
The silent bow, the early Fuji crew fades away into the void. Time seems to fly by involuntarily, as the red tide mutates at a speed beyond human comprehension. In just a few years, the punishing virus has mutated to a point where ordinary humans can barely resist it, forcing Kalong's remaining population to continue migrating toward the far north.
Lady Chu, Babylonia, I sent a comms request. Answer it.
Silica's worried face appears in the comms feed.
Let's skip the pleasantries. Babylonia can no longer contain the head of her zone on the surface. Babylonia is preparing to leave Earth's orbit.
Cold mockery leaves Silica silent for a moment.
Almost all of Babylonia's elite squads have fallen, and the two remaining Grey Ravens have made several attempts to re-enter the tower, but it's been completely sealed off. The punishing virus is totally out of hand now.
Silica speaks, the transport ship touches down with a rumble. Side members rush into the newly landed vessel to tend to critically wounded constructs and humans.
Babylonia is preparing to leave Earth's orbit. All surviving humans and constructs on Earth have the right to enter Babylonia and depart with us. Please send me your list of evacuees and transfer zones. Babylonia will dispatch transport ships to the designated locations. The operation codename will be Departure.
Transport ships from Babylonia arrived and departed with over 100 Kowloon citizens and refugees from the conservation areas sought shelter in Kowloon. After watching the transport ships disappear in the distance, Chu turns to face the residents gathered below.
This is your last chance to leave.
These old bones aren't going anywhere. The young bones aren't leaving either. There's an old saying in Kowloon: fallen leaves return to their roots. Wherever our roots are, that's where we'll stay. Who knows what might happen in that shifty Babylonia? One wrong step and boom, down you go.
Right. Because again, it's like, at least back home, they know that they'll still keep fighting. They don't just automatically give up on people.
I'm not about to live up there where my feet can't touch the earth. All these words draw scattered chuckles from the crowd. That's right. Wherever Kowloon is, that's where we'll be. To use an exile, Kowloon has suffered heavy losses, even with the protection of the Tableau Akasha. Once prosperous city-states have been reduced to the mere thousands gathering here. Chu stands on the elevated platform, gazing down at her people below.
Lady Chu, what should we do now?
To one leading what is left of the Pulau crew, she knows all too well that nothing about this is simple.
The seeds of our civilization have been preserved by Babylonia. It's for those who have chosen to stay. As long as this is their will, no one can force them to leave their homeland. They chose to stay, knowing exactly what's going to become of this place. Then I shall make certain that they see the dawn of victory.
The glory of Kowloon should be eternally recorded in the Tableau Akasha. The wealth of Kowloon should be passed out here for all generations to come.
Hua Zhu, prepare to receive the remaining civilians of Kowloon into the data layers of the Tableau Akasha. Can the Tableau Akasha continue to operate without maintenance? Naturally.
Usually proud consort shows a rare smile. Accompanying Pulau, she turns their gaze to the residents.
I will ensure it continues to operate for as long as I am alive.
These are the words she leaves unspoken. Right. Having finished battling the grotesquely shaped header creatures, Chu leans against a stone pillar. He is at the endless snowfall above, unable to remember how many days it's been since the battle began.
Hua Zhu, what's the status of the Tableau Akasha?
All sectors of the Tableau Akasha are currently operating normally. Surface barrier pressure remains stable.
The PV concentration exceeds normal levels by 38.69%, but remains within manageable parameters.
The brick crystallizes in the frost, carrying with it heat of her overloaded body. How long has it been since I forcefully uploaded a defiant Pulau into the Tableau Akasha? Chu couldn't help but wonder.
It has been 1,825 days since the Tableau Akasha was completely sealed.
Wait, what? How long? Wait, let me see how many months that would be. So if I did 2025, because I know there's like 365 days in a year, but there is still like the whole leap year thing, so it's like, I wouldn't remember that exactly. It's like 152 average of months, technically. Wait, right? Yeah. Wait, right? Or am I being stupid again? No way, if I'm doing days divided by month, wait, what would that be then? Oh god, I'm confusing myself again. Nah, I'd be messing up then. Whatever.
Time sure flies.
Time accumulates like ancient tomes in an old study. Even Chu, despite her constant vigilance, occasionally loses track of time.
Do you feel lonely?
The whispers have in the air within the red time.
Why would I?
The longsword in hand, she answers the murmurs churning in the filth. She is wary, but her gaze remains as sharp as ever. Doors of the Tableau Akasha stay shut behind her, rumble of its closing still ringing in her ears. The infants locked both calamities and herself outside the country's gates on that day, keeping her people safe. Ah, I see, so that's what she meant. So she is like the final pillar of Kowloon.
They're all inside.
The people come first, the state second.
Well,
It's alright. It'll make sense when you're older.
behind me is Kowloon, the land and people I've sworn to protect.
With wavering eyes and a clear mind, she faced the Crimson Tide before. They've long abandoned you. It's not sure to coalesce in twisted humanoid shapes. For a smile across his chew's lips as her blade cleaves through the air, cutting down several crimson shadows in a single sweep.
It is the Sovereign's divine duty to guard the gates to her land. What right have you to question the laws of Kowloon?
The rebel never assaulted the mutated red tide, she wiped her longsword clean. She stands alone amidst the winds and snow. Behind her, the Tablet of Akasha continues its eternal peaceful operation. Until the day her life comes to an end.
Right, because I guess as a transcendent, she isn't really as restricted with her powers to the Ascension Network as she is compared to Luna. Which makes sense, all things considered. That she is independent, but she's not like as invincible as or as strong as Ascendant is usually boosted as, especially compared to agents. But still at least able to hold her own. It's been 4,772 days since the Tablet of Akasha was sealed. Correction, it's been 4,775 days since the Tablet of Akasha was sealed.
The memories of those lost days remain hazy to her. The mutated red tide corrupted her memory module during one of the battles. Did she spend those days in self-repair after sustaining heavy damage? She channels power to repair her frame, her life detector radar. Having been silent this entire time, something comes alive. Sorry about that. There was that noise in the background, so I had to lower the volume a bit.
Life signals.
Three red dots appear on the radar.
Oh shoot. Run a new diagnostic on my frame. Diagnosis complete. Frame damage at 23.89%. No significant anomalies detected in the radar module.
Gripping her longsword, she rises to her feet once more. In a world like this, no life form is truly harmless. Driven away both mechanoids and humans who sought to claim the Tablet of Akasha for themselves. To the howling blizzard, she adjusts her blurry visual module to peer ahead.
Damn, so people actually came to try to take it to... Well, again, I guess it makes sense because it's their own way of eternal prosperity. But again, it was meant only for the people of Kowloon. Damn, it's so crazy that we actually had to team up with everybody that we've established connections with. Especially those who are like... They would just be like, they'd rather just like stay neutral and away from the stuff if it involved Babylonia, but just with us, they're like kind of okay. Is this it? Don't trust my positioning system.
Snowfall intensifies. Through the haze, you make out some of the dilapidated buildings that count long in a nearby alley. You have to put in a little effort to remove the frost that's formed on your goggles. Find it difficult to imagine anyone alive in a place like this.
Step back.
Before you reach the building, have you seen blade of light? Clears through the blizzard. Cover a deep chasm in the ground before you and Vanessa.
True. That's impossible.
As the howling wind gradually subsides, you see a familiar figure emerge from the thick blanket of snow, sword in hand.
Grey Raven Commandant.
Yeah, that's right.
Impossible. How did you make it out of the tower? Waju performed simulations on alternative futures. But you couldn't have.
As if it was suspicious. Again, reasonable. Sucks, but to be fair, just like Luna said, the simulations, most of the time, were dead. And it is true that, regardless,
even from what Lucia told us back then, most of the time we were dead. Other times we had escaped, but she never knew what happened to us after that, so maybe we just died a bit, like, after we escaped, but never made contact with anybody after that.
So this is the Red Tide's latest trick. I really don't want to explain it again.
This is the fact that you choose longsword with visible irritation.
This is the Grey Raven command in Xanthos. We made contact with the commander about a month ago in an abandoned town along with ARU. I don't know if your frame still works, but you should at least be able to tell that this one and I are genuine constructs.
She lowers her offensive stance as she studies the three of you with caution. She can indeed confirm that Vanessa and Emma, whom she has met before, are actually constructs, but you...
I've simulated all sorts of futures using Huaju's power while guarding this place. But in every single one of them, you weren't there, Xanthos. Show me that you are you, and not just an illusion the Red Tide came up with.
The Red Tide can't replicate my appearance. Based on what you've learned from Luna, Vanessa, and Cervantes, you've easily reached this conclusion. Right, that is true, because it's like, they've done it of everybody else. We saw that it tried to pretend to be Luna in the past. But I guess it can't do anything with, like, it hasn't really made contact with. Because at least the only reason it took the form of Luna's former appearance with her old frame is because she did have to leap in order to obtain the power of the Ascension Network through it as an alternative route. Not me, though. It may have to do with the unfathomable secret in you that mystified even Vonnegut. Perhaps the fact that you never truly dissolved into the Red Tide. Your wig can never turn into illusion with your face. Right.
Oh wait, did he actually say... Wait, a fathomable secret? Did we actually touch up on that or no? I don't remember. Damn it!
It's just there was so much going on, I can't remember which details there was. That's like, that we touched on or that I needed to focus on. Have you seen me in the Red Tide in the last 30 years? Never mind the illusions. Vanessa and Emma wouldn't have trusted an imposter. What does anyone stand to gain from impersonating some commandant from 30 years ago? True, because I mean, come on. If I was a fake, Vanessa would just revel in the opportunity to shoot me. Just because at least she could say she killed me, even though it's just a lookalike.
True. I don't see how anyone would stand to gain anything.
Though she and her longsword remained positioned for a quick draw, and if caution still lingers in her eyes. But again, reasonable. Time flows like a fleeting shadow. 30 years have passed and she cannot be certain that the person before is the same person she used to know. But she knows that she has to protect her people. Does he choose continued vigilance, you step back with Vanessa. Should ensure the three of you mean no harm. As the tension eases, you take the chance to ask about Huaju's simulations you mentioned earlier. You said Huaju did some simulations on the future.
Yes, shortly after your disappearance. Babylonia informed me of your entry into the Hetero Tower, that you and Lucia never showed up on the day you were scheduled to be picked up.
Right. Yeah, because I guess in the end, it is true, because it's like, they did, or Luna was trying to do that as well, and whether it was from Babylonia's request to Luna or not, I guess they were trying to find other ways to make sure it's like, do you know anything if we can at least find them, or a location, or a point in time, just to be safe. And again, Huaju was probably the only other way, similar to like a stall, that could have simulated a possibility of it.
Everyone knew you and Lucy had gone missing. Sensing something was wrong, I began new simulations with Huaju. The results were absolute. No matter how many variables I added, there was only one outcome regarding you. You never made it out of the tower in all those simulations.
I mean, to be fair, I am permanently dead in 99.99% of them. Of course. Same outcome Luna ended up with using the Ascension Network. If it weren't for Lucy, I might not have made it out alive. My presence here now is the greatest variable of all.
Indeed. Your escape from the Hetero Tower suggests a possible singularity, a deviation from the predicted path. Tell me then, what brings you here?
still falls heavily as the sovereign Kalong stands before all she protects. Her subjects nowhere to be seen, she maintains the composure of one who holds destiny in her grasp. For Emma's help, you find a sheltered corner away from the wind, where you recount everything to Chew in detail. Everything that happened in the tower, the mechanoid you ran into after you made it out, the full sensory simulation device Nanami left behind, and each Waju's computing power to contact this unknown Nanami.
That's interesting. I never saw these mechanoids you mentioned in any of Waju's simulations either.
After a moment of thought, she summons Waju.
How much computing power do you need to keep the Tabula Akasha running at full capacity? 35.18. Reserve 40% allocate all remaining computing power to the full sensory simulation device.
True silent approval, Emma quickly leaves and returns in a rescue vehicle where Rosa and Cervantes bring the full sensory simulation device with them and quickly start recalibrating it.
Damn, so seriously, she never came into contact with any Church of Machina. Well, then again, makes sense. But Cervantes never came back. Well, then again, I guess he had kind of left his past behind.
During this time, you finally get a chance to voice your questions to True, who stands before the door with her sword held close. What happened to all the humans in Kellogg, True?
The rest of us are all here.
And the Tabula Akasha?
Pretty bright, aren't you?
Well, I mean, I was there.
Perhaps there is just no way we'll truly be able to see what fate has in store for us.
Fate?
I factored in countless variables, even my personal entry into the tower. Yet none of my simulations could predict you standing before me now.
Wow, damn. Even with her with us? Well, then again, I guess her situation is different because even if she is like an ascended transcendent, it's not necessarily similar to like having an Omega weapon with her, so we wouldn't know what would happen to her as a result of not having an Omega weapon.
Life has taught me never to place my hopes in anyone but myself. And yet,
stands alone, especially as cold and distant as the winter frost.
Do make it count. Alright, it's good to go.
Right there, Rose calls out your name.
Commandant, our test is complete. The device should be safe based on the theoretical results we derived from Asimov's notes. Except I couldn't enter the connection established by the simulation device. It requires a specific mind beacon, so I can't verify the validity of our results.
Ah, Asimov.
He probably always knew, or at least had a hope, that I'd come back one day. And that if I need to, would be able to change things. Well, either that or Nanami. No, actually, it would be Nanami, wouldn't it? But then again, it is in the aerospace city where she was, so maybe it was. I don't know. That's good enough. But then again, haven't I actually established a connection with Nanami at least once in the past? So maybe that's how she could calibrate just for me.
Then, should we establish the connection now?
Wait a moment. I have complete faith in Asimov's notes, but can't be sure this is gonna work. Given that Nanami's lost in what Cervantes called the chaos of the simulations, will you really be able to reach her? Complications piling up one after another, you don't know if you'll be able to bring back the singularity, the variables, and hope. Buzzing anxiety grips you by the throat, leaving the taste of iron and blood lingering in your mouth.
Don't play the Messiah. I've said it before. Humanity doesn't need another savior.
Yes, it's made her way to your side without you even noticing.
Even if we fail, we'll still find a way to carry on. We managed without you for this long. We'll live on just fine without you if we have to.
Thanks.
Go on then. The sooner you leave, the sooner you'll be back. I'll wait right here. Don't worry. I'll be the first thing you see when you open your eyes. And if you can't, I'll just drag you to the hills and bury you. Hey, I'm kidding. Don't look at me like that. Or we could just give up now and straight back to the settlement. We might even make it in time for dinner.
You've come too far to call it quits now. Not to mention Lucy is still waiting for you in the distant past. I'm ready. Establish connection. thick curtain of night falls, a pink-haired construct in an immaculate coat materialized in the wilderness. Ravenous winds whipped through the merciless snow. A tall figure faces in and out of space as she toys with 2 dice in her palm. The crystalline clicks echoing throughout the air.
Santos, making the same choice again, are you? Or are you going to provide a different answer? Let's wait and see if things turn out differently this time.
Quivering hood obscures her smile as she tugs at her cloak and turns to leave.
Right, because humanity hasn't ended yet, so she's still trying to observe for now what's left in store for them. Apocalypse Voyage. Ah, no, not these numbers again. This is where I met that weird program that tried to kill me the other time. And also Dominic. But those are 2 separate things. Your mind burns into darkness as your consciousness rots away. Every cell in you seems to be breaking apart and reconstructing itself. While the colors fill your vision. Oh, right, no, yeah, I remember this other being. This was the one that was trying to, like, mess with Chew and stuff, right? I mean, I know that's not what's happening right now, but, like, what this scene was from. Time means nothing to you anymore, so a voice pulls your mind from the bottomless abyss.
Be careful now. The star.
Star? Can't even be sure your eyes are open, but you seem to hear Huaju's voice drifting in and out as it travels across the distance to reach you.
Anomaly detected. Anomaly in memory storage. Illegal access. Unable to... If you fall, Aya's gonna tease you about it.
Huaju falls completely silent. Huaju? Hazy light appears before your eyes. What is this place? Little girl with strange goggles crashes hard into the ground. The gray consort quickly helps the little girl up from the ground.
I told you this wouldn't be a good place to move around. The star.
Nanami? Is this place Nanami's memory storage module? Is a full sensory simulation device connected you to Nanami's memories? Nanami and the Mechanoid are right before your eyes. Yet your voice can't seem to reach them, no matter how hard you shout. It's as if you were covered by a heavy transparent veil. But I guess I am just an observer this time.
Alright, we're gonna head back home now. Your comrade's here.
Nanami squints her eyes playfully as she checks off items in her imaginary notebook.
Alright, let's go. Time for us to head back to Church of Machina.
Raise her arms while riding on power, looking like a little general returning for victory. Again, your shout falls on deaf ears. Okay. From what you can recall, Cervantes did mention the situation.
The last thing I heard from the starship was that Sage attempted to continue her search for humanity's salvation through simulations after leaving Earth. But she vanished into the space-time turbulence. No one knows where she went. If our hypothesis is correct, you managed to contact Sage through a full sensory simulation device. Your consciousness might become lost with her in the space-time turbulence. Sage has experienced many extraordinary encounters. Can't be certain which point in time you might find her. It could take a while before you discover the singularity that can wake her up. This might be a long journey.
There's no doubt this is going to be a long journey. But all the more reason to. Powering to Machina like a small tornado with its master. The Grand Hall, usually filled with clicking and wiring of machines, is usually quiet. And for semi-awakened machines, lodged listlessly in the corners.
Why are we all looking like this? Come on, Nanami's back. Welcome back, Sage.
Arcana hurries out from the corridor on the other side.
Where did everyone go? I'm not seeing anyone here. They've all gone out on urgent missions to retrieve or contact our comrades that are scattered across the world. Not long ago, the Great Tower detected that the liquid called the Red Tide around the head of our tower began to mutate.
Ah, I see.
So is by going through her memories, we're gonna try to link with the latest point that she's existed in reality, and then it's gonna create that little connection through space-time to the real Nanami?
In the past, the red tide could not harm mechanoids unless there was direct contact. But since this mutation, it's been actively devouring several Waking machines. The red tide mutation?
Prior Brown Nanami searched through her mind for these two keywords. Among all the words she's seen, she wonders if there was ever an ending like this.
Sage, have you heard anything from Babylonia? Nope, I haven't read anything from them yet.
The gray-haired girl opens her terminal and makes an exaggerated show of filtering through messages from them.
The Grey River Command and Lucia haven't made it out of the Hetero Tower. It's been 1,825 days since they entered the tower. We haven't heard from them since. It's safe to say that they're lost in there. Xavier theorizes that the mutated red tide might be related to the Hetero Tower. We haven't figured out the exact composition of this mutation. I had no idea it's been so long since they went in. Nanami was wondering why she hadn't seen Commander for so long. I thought Commander had forgotten about me. Did someone just say something? No, Sage. How was your frame, by the way? It's been holding up just fine. Nanami's frame is the toughest of them all. You haven't been searching around the Hetero Tower, have you?
Great. And we glance around nervously before darting into Xavier's magic workshop.
Regardless, Sage, we had to make a decision now.
Kinda follows right behind Nanami, refusing to let her dodge the subject.
It's been a while since the Grey River Commander went missing, and the mutated red tide now threatens the safety of the mechanoids. Wait, hold on one second. Let Nanami just quickly finish this thing here.
Nanami bounces, she mumbles to herself and rummages through drawers and cabinets in search of something.
Sage, we're out of time. I can hear it. Calamity is approaching. Change is imminent. And the world has fallen to a deep slumber. Before that happens, we must be prepared. The Great Tower is ready to depart at any time, and Xavier already has all the starship modification materials ready. None remembers leaving that thing somewhere around here.
She pays no attention to Arcana's words as she continues to search.
This isn't a problem we can solve by avoiding it, Sage. In this calamity, mechanoids and humans cannot coexist. Who says Nanami's avoiding anything? I'm not avoiding anything! Wheel of Fortune has betrayed the Church of Machina and taken away from a group of awakened and semi-awakened mechanoids.
Oh, someone betrayed them already? Damn.
Who's Wheel of Fortune again? This is the second piece of news I want to share with you.
Changes brought by the mutated red tide spells trouble for the Church of Machina. Some mechanoids firmly believe that humans are to blame for all these unfortunate changes. Humans have polluted the world, invaded the world, made it worse. Isn't it obvious? Ever since he fled the Church of Machina with Emperor, his life has clearly taken a turn for the worse. No one would spare him any fuel, let alone maintain his frame for free.
Wheel of Fortune. Sage has yet to hold you accountable for taking Schultz away.
Wait, yeah. Wait, who is Schultz? Damn it! It's been so long since I remember the Church of Machina group. Hold me accountable. If Schultz's desire to claim Aerospace City for our mechanical brethren counts as a crime, I can't think of a more beautiful way to describe him. Our time has come, Arcana. Mother.
Hand over Schultz and Sage might just pardon you.
You're mistaken, Mother. I didn't come back seeking anyone's forgiveness. I simply believe all our comments have the right to know the truth. And the truth is, Earth should be ours now. The era of machines has come. We shall purge humanity, claim Earth for ourselves, and fight off the punishing virus. We shall become the new dominant species of Earth. It's not what the sage taught us.
Sage taught us that we should live in harmony with humans.
I, Wheel of Fortune, am also an apostle of Sage's mechanical will. My comrade, if we could offer the entire world to Sage, why should we confine ourselves to this petty Church of Machina?
Nanami doesn't care about ruling the world. So Wheel of Fortune only managed to take away a small portion of the gears. Most of the remaining mechanoids still hold your will as supreme.
Nami frowns and pouts.
Schultz is a bad guy, but I really don't know what to do about them. We can't punish Zero for letting Schultz and Wheel of Fortune escape by temporarily restricting the Church of Machina. But Wheel of Fortune and Schultz?
Kino really sees Nanami so troubled. Surely doesn't know how to deal with these wayward brethren. Attempting to restore Schultz's core consciousness was already a drastic measure for her. Can a mechanoid's consciousness really be destroyed that easily? Schultz's core being is essentially just a string of code. No one knows how many copies he made of himself. Theoretically, he could be hiding anywhere in the day. Oh, right. I forgot that was Schultz. Oh, right. I forgot. Yes, of course. Now I remember Schultz. He was the AI program that, what's it called? That Villiers and the professor created. However, the professor abandoned the project after. And then Schultz had actually gained a... What is it called? He gained a sense of self, right? And then that's when he decided to attack Cao Long as revenge for being disposed of. Now I remember. Damn, that was a crazy event. Yeah, because Schultz also ended up being a member of the Church of Machina, too. I completely forgot about that. Damn, it's been forever. That's another heavy sigh. And without Arcana pointing out, she's already noticed signs of something going wrong. The air around her is twisting. The girl's body descends into infinite darkness. It's almost about to dissolve. So it reaches out her hand, and the magnetic pull grows steadily stronger. The countdown begins to tick quietly. There's no time left to waste. Once awakened machines develop their own consciousness, the Church of Machina becomes powerless to stop their actions. If this continues, Schultz and Wheel of Fortune will not be the last mechanoids to lead the Church of Machina. Looking from their perspective, are they truly wrong? Nanami finds herself unable to judge. One thing she knows for certain. She recalls the future she saw during the Gestalt simulation. All the darkness and depravity of deathly frost, where mechanoids wage never-ending wars, consuming every inch of land beneath them. Nanami doesn't want a future like that. Nanami digs deep into Xavier's magic workshop and retrieves a crude blueprint. Holds up to the light and squints at the designs she completed long ago. Where's Xavier? He said he needed to retrieve something important from an abandoned warehouse nearby. Any news about what I asked him to make? He mentioned it was in the laboratory before he left. The calibration is complete and good for use any time. Ah, okay, so that's also why that thing was even at Aerospace City anyway. Okay, because I was going to be like, if they've already been there for a while or occupied the city, how come they haven't done anything with it? Is that Sage's new frame? Of course. It's the most powerful frame I've ever come up with myself. Rummaging through every corner, Nanami finds the incubation pod housing a construct. Draws back the curtain covering the glass window, lost in thought. What a unique frame. Arcana follows closely behind and sees Nanami lying motionless in the incubation pod. Of course. Nanami put a lot of work into it. I thought Sage would come up with something more mature. No. Nanami wouldn't want that. The memory of a girl with silver hair surfaces in Nanami's mind. She examines it repeatedly, seeming to try to cast the spectral figure out of her mind. I've changed my mind. Nanami doesn't want to be the big sister anymore. I just want to stay here on Earth and live together with Commander and all these people. But we're running out of time. It seems like something's trying to take over her mind. Because it changed from forget to do not forget. Now saying Nanami to people. Maybe Schultz trying to take an influence on her again? No, but that wouldn't make sense either. Because we had already dealt with him, right? But then again, I guess she said he can kind of like copy himself. The hall, several semi-awakened mechanical children play together, blissfully ignorant. Regardless of what happens next, she should first lead her kin away from the looming danger. This is the responsibility she must bear as Sage Machina. As for Babylonian degree of a commandant,
I went to check the area shortly after Commander Lucia entered the tower. Of course, I had to check it out. I had to make sure that huge thing wouldn't become a threat to our kind. But when I got there, the tower was completely sealed off. There's no way Nanami and the other Grey Ravens can make it in there if the tower is still sealed. And we won't be able to find the commandant even if we force our way in. I've tried that already. The new frame was designed to see if we could break through the barrier. Now it seems that even if we forced our way in, we still wouldn't be able to find the commandant.
Right. Because again, they wouldn't have the key. If we were stuck in any realm of time, they wouldn't be able to access it.
Plus your current frame is severely damaged from when you forced your way into that tower. Hey, it's not just the head of a tower. I made the frame for a different purpose anyway. None of you made it for smoother simulation in the data space. But none of that matters now. What matters is, we're running out of time.
Fran's feeling the pull of gravity tugging at her.
Time is truly running out, for both mechanoids and humans alike. The star, what's wrong?
Akina patiently kneels down to comfort the frightened mechanoid. Expressions on Star's mask change rapidly as she sobs uncontrollably.
Aya says the red wave broke through the Great Tower's defenses. She says the protective barriers in space seem to have failed. The red wave might be getting stronger now than it was before. The red tide was already flooded into our hide-and-seek spot in the outer layer of the Great Tower. The mutated red tide has reached the ruins?
So that can't work for her.
This is bad. Like more Trailblazer and Zero, I'll have left to rescue our comrades nearby. Hey, you still got me here.
Practice movement, she connects each port of the incubation pod to her frame one by one.
Let's show them what this new frame is made of. The Star, take your friends out there with Aya to our secret hideout. This might be too hasty. Savory isn't even here. Have faith in your great sage. Nanami is pretty amazing.
To activate the incubation pod's button, Nanami gives Power a cheerful pat. Her eyes crinkling with a smile.
See you later, Power. Here comes Nanami the Knight.
Yeah, boy. Alright. But I'm gonna have to save that for next time. But don't worry, I am gonna do a couple fights before we go off the street. Well, yo, what's up, Caesar Life? How you doing? Hope you have a good day so far. Let's at least do the challenge stages. I want to at least do this to test out the new Nanami frame before we use it next time. See if I can... I'll see if I try to stream this tomorrow or Trips to Daybreak 2. It might actually be this because I do want to continue and see where it leaves off. Classic. Ah, shit. I remember I hated Still gonna have to try to like practice the mission. There we go. I do like that the sword can actually turn into like an axe. That is pretty cool. There we go. Way back. Oh shit. Oh, here we go.
ナミ自身が決めるんだ。
Alright, not bad, not bad. Definitely still gotta practice a bit more, but I think that's at least good enough. At least got to test it out. I'll make sure that definitely next time I do get to more of this, but again, it's like it's pretty late and I do have work in the morning, so that's why it's like I'm not going too hard on the stream for right now, because if I could, I definitely would have done more this chapter, but I just started so late that I was like, let me at least do something. So anyway, that is going to be the end of the stream for tonight. I hope you guys did enjoy it. So at least we are starting to make a chance of trying to make a difference in the future. But again, it's like, how much will we actually be able to learn, and what exactly is this kind of rift in space-time that Nanami's going through right now? I mean, I'll be interested to see how she ended up in that situation. But if we live, give a shout out to both Divine Way and Caesar Life for showing up at the stream. Great chat with both of you. If you guys do enjoy the stream but you're not already following the channel, please make sure that you follow. Much appreciated. Check my YouTube channel, I post all the VODs. Subscribe there as well. Join Discord, you guys not already. Links to all those are on the channel. But this has been Xander's Voice. I hope you guys have a great rest of your night. See you guys next time. We're out.